Hello children, good morning, and this is my sixth lecture on group theory and spectroscopy. Welcome to the e-content for postgraduate classes for MSc Chemistry. This is for MSc previous year, that is first semester. Paper code is MCH404, group theory and spectroscopy, and this is my sixth lecture on ESCA and Auger spectroscopy. So let's start. Myself, Dr. Shweta Tamarkar, Assistant Professor Chemistry from Government Chattisgarh PG College, Panna. The content reviewer of this module are Dr. Alka Pradhan ma'am from Government MVM College, Bhopal, Dr. Bharti Jain ma'am from Government MLB Girls PG College, Bhopal, Dr. Jyoti Saxena ma'am from IEHE Bhopal, and Dr. Oli Shukla ma'am from Government MLB Girls PG College, Bhopal. In the description of this topic, which is for MSc first semester, and the paper Group Theory and Spectroscopy, what are the prerequisites? The requisites are as in the previous lectures, that is knowledge of electromagnetic radiations, जो मैंने आप लोगों को मेरे ही मॉड्यूल्स फर्स्ट एंड सेकंड में आपको इसकी इंफॉर्मेशन दी है. स्पेक्ट्रम बेसिकली दिस वी नो अबाउट ऑल ऑफ देम. Structure of atom, then ionization potential, binding energy, and molecular spectroscopy. And what are the objectives of this module is that after completing this module you will be able to understand what is ESCA, it is electronic spectroscopy and chemical analysis, electron spectroscopy for chemical analysis, and Auger electron spectroscopy. You need to have only the basic idea of this spectroscopy. So let's start with the X-ray photoelectron spectroscopy, which is also known as ESCA, which is electron spectroscopy for chemical analysis. So XPS, actually we have studied about the photoelectron spectroscopy in my last module, and there we have studied how photoelectron spectroscopy is based on photoelectric effect, and the photons of light can be from various sources, and those sources were maybe X-rays or it can be ultraviolet radiations. And when we use X-rays for this analysis, then it becomes XPS, that is ESCA. So XPS is known as ESCA because in contrast to UPS or AES, Auger, which we will study, the XPS provides the information not only about the composition but also about the structure and oxidation state of the compound. So why this photoelectron spectroscopy, why this XPS is known as ESCA, that is why it is known as instrument for chemical analysis, because it tells you about the structure and oxidation states of the compound as well. So photoelectric effect जो है हम पहले भी देख चुके हैं कि क्या है कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ फोटोन्स जब हमारे सैंपल पर पड़ते हैं तो किस तरह इलेक्ट्रॉन्स उसमें से एमिट होते हैं, और उन इलेक्ट्रॉन्स की काइनेटिक एनर्जी यदि हम मेजर कर लें तो हम बाइंडिंग एनर्जीज निकाल सकते हैं. सो दैट वाज अबाउट द इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ photoelectron spectroscopy, and here it is about the ESCA. सो एक्सरेज जैसे कि मैंने आप लोगों को बताया कि एक्सरेज का यूज होता है, तो एक्सरेज आर irradiated on the sample surface hitting the core electrons of the atoms. Now why core electrons are used? Because core electrons are near to the nucleus and they give you more information about than the valence electrons. So X-ray penetrate the sample to a depth on the order of micrometers, and useful signals are obtained from a depth around 10 to 100 angstroms on this surface. तो जो इसकी डेप्थ है, जो हमें सैंपल का सरफेस है उसके 10 से 100 एंगस्ट्रॉम तक इसकी एनालिसिस हमें मिलती है. और जो एक्सरे के सोर्सेज हम यूज करते हैं वो है मैग्नीशियम के अल्फा फोटॉन्स विद एन एनर्जी ऑफ 1253.6 इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट्स, और एल्यूमिनियम के अल्फा फोटॉन्स with an energy of 1486.6 electron volts. So normally the sample will be radiated with photons of a single energy, maybe it can be magnesium alpha K alpha या aluminum K alpha, and these are known as what? Monoenergetic X-ray beam. So this is how the X-rays are being used. Then, as I already told you, why the core electrons are being used, because core electrons जो हैं, core का मतलब भी होता है which are in the center. तो the core electrons they are nearer to the nucleus and they have binding energy which are characteristics of that particular element. उसके characteristic होते हैं, और हम यदि binding energies find out कर लें तो हम जो है information about the molecules निकाल सकते हैं. The core electrons have a higher probability of matching the energies of aluminum K alpha and magnesium K alpha. So this is why, that is why we are using the core electrons. There are two reasons. First of all, that they have their characteristic binding energies, and secondly is that these are compatible with the energies of aluminum K alpha and magnesium K alpha. So let's talk about something which you know, that is what is binding energy. The binding energy is characteristic of core electrons for each element. जैसे कि हमने कहा कि जो बाइंडिंग एनर्जी है वो हर एलिमेंट में हर इलेक्ट्रॉन्स के लिए इन द सेम सेक्शन आर सिमिलर. तो बाइंडिंग एनर्जी इज डिटरमाइंड बाय द अट्रैक्शन ऑफ द न्यूक्लियस ऑफ द इलेक्ट्रॉन्स टू द न्यूक्लियस. मतलब कितना न्यूक्लियस से इलेक्ट्रॉन अट्रैक्टेड है, कितनी एनर्जी हमें चाहिए होगी उसे निकालने के लिए, that will be the binding energy. If an electron with energy x is pulled away from the nucleus, the attraction between the electron and nucleus decreases and the bonding energy decreases. यदि हम इलेक्ट्रॉन को दूर ले जाते जाएंगे तो क्या होगा कि उसकी बॉन्डिंग एनर्जी घटती जाएगी और धीरे धीरे एक ऐसा पॉइंट आएगा जब वो इलेक्ट्रॉन बाहर आ जाएगा. तो दैट इज हाउ वी इजेक्ट द इलेक्ट्रॉन, एंड दैट इज व्हाट इज बाइंडिंग energy. So this is a very simple instrument with a simple diagram showing you how XPS works. So XPS, which is also known as ESCA, you need to remember this. It is electron spectroscopy for chemical analysis. It is the most widely used surface analysis technique because of the relative simplicity in use and data interpretation. इसका data interpretation कैसे किया जाता है ये हम इसमें देखेंगे. तो थ्री स्टेप मॉडल होता है. यदि आप मेरे इसके पहले वाले मॉड्यूल्स देखेंगे तो हमें एक रफ आइडिया अबाउट द फोटो इलेक्ट्रॉन स्पेक्ट्रोस्कोपी मिल जाएगा. उसमें हमने फोटो आयनाइजेशन प्रोसेस भी देखा है. तो इसमें हम हाउ डज दिस फोटो इलेक्ट्रॉन आयनाइजेशन अकर, दैट यू विल सी. दिस इज अ थ्री स्टेप मॉडल. सबसे पहले ऑप्टिकल एक्साइटेशन होता है. The optical excitation का मतलब है when we impinge the light, or whether it is X-ray light है या UV photon light है. तो because we have seen that photoelectron spectroscopy can be done with two different type of energies, one from X-rays, other from the ultraviolet radiations. So we can if we are using X-rays, then that is XPS, and if you are using UV photons, then that will be UPS. So both of them are using the same three-step model, that is optical excitation. कैसे जो है photons excite करते हैं electrons को, फिर दूसरा transport of electron to the surface, diffusion, energy loss, और फिर escape into the vacuum, how the electrons escape from the surface. So this is a three-step model. So XPS instrument का diagram है ये, और not diagram, it's the XPS instrument which is showing some of the basic parts of this. These are X-ray source, ion source, analyzer, and sample introduction chamber. So sample introduction chamber क्या है? The sample will be introduced to the chamber that is in contact with the outside environment, and it will be closed and pumped to low vacuum. अच्छा, ultra high vacuum, ultra high जो है vacuum का use इसलिए होता है, UHV it is called, because you know it's very important that जो contamination है, gaseous जो contamination होता है वो ना हो. After the first chamber is at low vacuum, the sample will be introduced into the second chamber in which ultra high vacuum environment exists. So again, this also has a reason as to why ultra high vacuums are needed in the electron spectroscopy. So this is the diagram, the side view of the spectrometer that is used in this for XPS system. As you can see, it is an electron energy analyzer. It has an X-ray source. It has an ion gun, the neutralizer, vacuum system. Vacuum system is very important, and that we'll see कि vacuum system से क्यों important है. ये diagram जो है आपको side view से इसमें different parts जो है easily explain हो जाते हैं. तो जो हमें स्पेक्ट्रम मिलता है जब हम उस एक्सपीएस फोटोमीटर एक्सपीएस इंस्ट्रूमेंट को यूज करते हैं, तो जो हमें स्पेक्ट्रम मिलता है दैट इज बिटवीन द रिलेटिव नंबर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स एंड द बाइंडिंग एनर्जी. नाउ हाउ डू वी इंटरप्रेट द data from PES experiments is obtained as plots of photoelectron count versus binding energy. So how this data is interpreted? Relative number of electrons होते हैं और versus the binding energy. Now binding energy, we have understood what the binding energy is. With the binding energy usually expressed in units of electron volts or megajoules per mole. Now a PES data for elements is plotted so that binding energy decreases as you move right along the horizontal axis. Now आप यदि डायग्राम देखें तो where the point where x and y axis meet, that 100 is given over there, तो वहां पर we just consider that nucleus is present over there. तो जितना इस तरफ होगा from toward the left hand side, the peaks will be, they were closer to the or they will be called closer to the nucleus. So moving as you move along the right, you have to think that origin as represented to the nucleus of the atom. So जो left hand side में हम जाएंगे तो we are moving towards nucleus, and if you move towards right then we are moving away from the nucleus. This is how we see the spectrum. तो एक सिंपल लाइन में यदि मैं कहना चाहूँ तो यदि हम राइट हैंड साइड में इस ग्राफ में बढ़ेंगे तो हम कहेंगे कि बाइंडिंग एनर्जीज डिक्रीज हो रही हैं, और यदि हम लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में बढ़ेंगे तो हम कहेंगे कि बाइंडिंग एनर्जीज इंक्रीज हो रही हैं. तो अब एक स्पेक्ट्रम में जितनी पीक्स होंगी उतने सबशेल्स होंगे, ये भी हमें याद रखना है. तो एक टिपिकल पीएस स्पेक्ट्रम जो है, इट फीचर्स पीक एट डिफरेंट बाइंडिंग एनर्जीज. मतलब यदि दो पीक्स हैं तो इसका मतलब है हमें दो डिफरेंट बाइंडिंग एनर्जीज इसमें हैं. So because electrons in a particular subshell of an atom has same binding energies, each of these peaks correspond to electrons in different subshells. तो जितनी भी subshells होंगे उतनी peaks हमको यहाँ पर मिलेंगी. तो ये जो स्पेक्ट्रम है इसमें हमें सिर्फ दो peaks मिल रही हैं, इसका मतलब इस particular element में दो subshells हैं. तो the binding energy of peak tells us how much energy is required to remove. ये हमें पता ही है कि binding energy actually क्या होती है, और intensity क्या बताती है कि कितने number of electrons हैं. तो कितनी पीक्स हैं ये आपको बताती है कितनी नंबर ऑफ सबशेल्स हैं, और कितनी इंटेंस पीक्स हैं ये आपको बताता है कि कितने नंबर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स हैं. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पर जो आप दो पीक्स देख रहे हैं इनकी एक की इंटेंसिटी दूसरे से लगभग हाफ है. दैट मीन्स यदि हम इसे कंसिडर करें 1s2, मतलब 1s सबशेल which has 2 electrons, so this will be 2s subshell which has only single electron, because जो इसकी इंटेंसिटी है वो इस वाले जो पीक की है हाफ है. ठीक है, तो नाउ दिस वी आर स्टडिंग इज द पीईएस स्पेक्ट्रम ऑफ लिथियम. जैसे कि हम डिस्कस करते हुए आए हैं कि ये जो पीएस स्पेक्ट्रम है, दिस शोज टू पिक्स. नाउ लिथियम इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कॉन्फ़िगरेशन क्या है? लिथियम का इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कॉन्फ़िगरेशन होता है 1s2 2s1. तो द पीक दैट इज क्लोजर टू ओरिजिन, क्लोजर टू जो ओरिजिन है, जैसे कि मैंने आपको बताया कि इस पॉइंट के पास जितनी होगी पीक, तो वो जो बाइंडिंग एनर्जीज है वो हाई होंगी. और हम कंसिडर करेंगे कि जो न्यूक्लियस के पास का सबशेल होगा वो कौन सा होगा? 1s होगा. तो 1s में यदि 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स हैं तो 2s जो है जो कि इससे दूर है उसमें एक इलेक्ट्रॉन होगा. तो दिस इज एक्चुअली द PES स्पेक्ट्रम ऑफ लिथियम. Then this also makes sense in terms of binding energies. कैसे binding energies के terms में? क्योंकि 1s orbital हम जानते हैं 1s subshell जो है वो क्या होता है, वो it is closer to the nucleus, and that's why it's closer to the nucleus, and definitely the binding energies इसकी क्या होंगी? ज़्यादा होंगी. As you can see, binding energies increases as we go from right to left. So this spectrum is describing how lithium has two different subshells, that is 1s and 2s, and the number of electrons are just half in 2s than the 1s. So identifying an element based on PES. अब हम we will just try to find out, आपको एक स्पेक्ट्रम दिया हुआ है और उससे हम पता लगाएंगे कि ये कौन सा एलिमेंट है. तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल हम देखें कि नंबर ऑफ पीक्स कितनी है इसमें. जैसे कि हमने कहा कि नंबर ऑफ पीक्स जो है वो आपको बताती हैं कि कितने नंबर ऑफ सबशेल्स होंगे. तो द PES spectrum shows 5 peaks which we would expect to be correspond to electrons in the 5 subshells that are closest to the nucleus, and these are 1s, you can read it as 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s 3s and 3p. So there are how many subshells? There are 5 subshells because there are 5 peaks. अब 5 peaks हैं, उसके बाद the peak with the highest binding energy, that is the leftmost peak. इस ये जो लेफ्ट सबसे लेफ्ट वाली पीक है वो उसकी बाइंडिंग एनर्जी सबसे हाई होगी, तो हम इसे कंसीडर करेंगे कि ये 1s सबशेल है. और फिर उसके बाद जिस कंटिन्यूएशन में ये है वो तो ये 1s है, तो दिस विल बी 2s, then 2p, then 3s and this then 3p. So now the 3p peak is half the height of 1s. Now you can see ये 3p peak है, this is half the height of 1s. इसका मतलब है यदि 1s में 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स है, जो इंटेंसिटी है पीक्स की वो हम बताती है नंबर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन. तो 1s की जो पीक है आप देख सकते हैं 3p की जो पीक है और 1s की पीक है, यदि हम कंपेयर करें तो इसकी हाइट डबल है या इंटेंसिटी डबल है देन दिस पीक. सो इफ इट इज हैविंग 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स देन दिस विल हैव व्हाट 1 इलेक्ट्रॉन. तो अब हम ये सो दिस विल बी 1s2, दिस विल बी 2s2. एज यू कैन सी ये दोनों बराबर है, तो इनमें दोनों में ही दो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स है. नाउ दिस इज व्हाट थ्राइस ऑफ दिस. So this will have 6 electrons. So this is 1s2, 2s2, 2p, 6, then again 3s2 and 3p1. So now in the जो हमारा मिस्ट्री एलिमेंट है, मतलब जिसका ये पीईएस स्पेक्ट्रम दिया हुआ है, तो हमें ये पता चल गया है कि इसमें जो है 5 सबशेल्स हैं और इसका कॉन्फ़िगरेशन क्या है 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p1. तो यदि हम पीरियोडिक टेबल में देखें तो 3p1 3p ऑर्बिटल में एक इलेक्ट्रॉन किसके होता है, तो वो होता है एल्यूमिनियम का. सो वी कम टू द कंक्लूजन दैट हमारा जो मिस्ट्री एलिमेंट है वो क्या है, एल्यूमिनियम है, और जिसका इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कॉन्फ़िगरेशन क्या है 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2 and 3p1. So this is how we can interpret the PES spectrum which is given to you. And yes, ये आपको याद रखना है कि number of peaks tell you the number of subshells, and the intensity of the peaks tells you the number of electrons present. So as we already know, there are 5 peaks in the spectrum which nicely corresponds to the 5 occupied subshells indicated in aluminum's electronic configuration. So the intensities of the peaks are consistent with the fact that the 2p subshell contains 3 times as many electrons as 1s, 2s and 3s, and 6 times as many electrons in 3p1. तो ये आपका comparison, आप height का comparison कर सकते हैं. This is 1s2, 2s2. So 1s2, 2s2, they have same height, same intensity. Then this is thrice of it, so this will be 2p6. Then again the equal to this, so this is 3p2 and this is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, then 3s2 and 3p1. So this is how we have found out that the spectrum given was of aluminium. So now how does this technology work? It works on under ultra high vacuum environment to eliminate excessive surface contamination. जैसे कि हमने स्टार्टिंग में देखा कि जो अल्ट्रा हाई वैक्यूम की जरूरत पड़ती है, and इसके लिए what is the reason behind this is that we need to remove the excessive surface contamination. Then cylindrical mirror analyzers are also present. Then a spectrum plotted by the computer from analyzer signal. The binding energies can be determined from peak positions and the elements present in the sample is identified. So a monoenergetic X-ray beam emits photoelectrons from the surface of the sample. जैसे कि शुरुआत में हमने कहा कि सैंपल पर जो है फोटॉन्स डाले जाते हैं जिसकी वजह से इलेक्ट्रॉन्स एमिट होते हैं, और हम जो है इसमें 2 बार अल्फा लग गया है, तो आप ध्यान रखिए कि दिस इज एल्यूमिनियम की अल्फा and this is magnesium K alpha. Emit 1 alpha from here, both of them. Then X-ray photons, the penetration is about of a micrometer of the sample, and it gives the information of the top 10 to 100 angstroms of the sample. So now why does it needs ultra high vacuum? Because of the contaminants will produce. यदि contaminants रह जाएंगे, हम इसे ultra high vacuum से clean नहीं करेंगे, I mean we will not produce ultra high vacuum, then what will happen? जो contaminants हैं वो भी XPS signals देंगे and they will lead to incorrect analysis of the surface of the composition. The pressure of the vacuum system should be this much, that is it should be less than or equal to 10 to the minus torr. Then contamination हम remove कैसे करते हैं? By removing contamination. For removal of contamination, it has to be bombarded with argon ions, and heat and oxygen can also be used to remove the hydrocarbons. So the XPS technique could cause damage to surface, but it is negligible. Then the very important part of our XPS spectrophotometer is that the cylindrical mirror analyzer. The electrons ejected will pass through cylindrical mirror analyzer, and क्योंकि cylindrical mirror analyzer का भी हम diagram देखें यदि, तो it has two concentric metal cylinders, and जिसमें से एक में positive voltage होता है और एक में zero voltage होता है, and this will create an electric field between two cylinders. The voltage on the CMA for XPS and Auger are different. So when electrons pass through metal cylinders, they will collide with one of the cylinders, or they will just pass through. So we have cylindrical mirror analyzer, and in that there are two cylinders, out of which, as we said, we have one with a high voltage and other with the zero voltage. Or इसलिए if the electron velocity is too high, it will collide with the outer cylinder. If it is going too slow, then it will collide with the inner cylinder, and only the electron with right velocity will go through the cylinders. तो ये जो cylindrical mirror analyzer है, it only allows the electrons with right velocity to be detected by the electron detectors. Now with the change in cylinder voltage, the acceptable kinetic energy will change, and then you can count how many electrons have to have that kinetic energy to reach the detector. So only the electrons with the required kinetic energy, or which are having the right velocity, they reach the detectors. So this is the equation which we are using, because we should know the energy which is being impinged, that is the energy of the photons. Then we should if we know the kinetic energy, then definitely we can find out the binding energies by knowing the spectrophotometers work function. So spectrometers work function, if we know all of these, then we can definitely find out the binding energies. And because kinetic energy depends on the binding energy, and binding energies are characteristics of the elements which are present. So the equation will calculate the energy needed to get an electron out from the surface of the solid, and that is our binding energy. So it is important that we will find out the binding energy, because binding energies ही हम निकाल रहे हैं with the help of the kinetic energies that are being released when we take out the electron. और ये kinetic energy आती कहाँ से है? जो photons of light हम impinge करते हैं, if they have higher energy than that required by the taking out of the electron, so that extra energy is given as in the form of kinetic energy. So if we have seen that we plot a graph between what the number of electrons and the binding energy, which is given in the electron volts. So if this graph is plotted, and what we have seen, that as we go from right to left, the binding energies increases. So binding energies increases. So we if we plot the graph between the binding energy and number of electrons, what we see that each peak represents the amount of electrons at a certain energy that is characteristic of some of the elements. और जैसे जैसे binding energy बढ़ेगी from right to left, this is how. And if we find out the binding energies, we can definitely find the various characteristic features of the electrons which are present in a particular element. So identification of XPS peaks. The plot has characteristic peaks for each element found in the surface of the sample. जैसे कि different graphs and plots हम other techniques में भी देखते हैं, तो जो plots या graphs होते हैं वो characteristic होते हैं किसी particular sample के, तो उसी तरह we have the peaks which are characteristics of that particular element. और हमें already tables हमारे पास हैं which have the kinetic energies and binding energies already assigned to each of the elements. So after the spectrum is plotted, you can look for the designated value of the peak energy from the graph and find the element present on the surface. So let's see what are the advantages and disadvantages of X-ray photoelectron spectroscopy. So in advantages, we'll see that it is a relatively non-destructive method of sample characterization and it is surface sensitive. So very important thing is that कि किसी भी जो टेक्नोलॉजी है यदि हमारा सैंपल डिस्ट्रॉय नहीं हो रहा है तो बिकॉज इफ our samples are too expensive then they should not be destroyed. तो यहाँ पर जो हमारी टेक्निक है इसमें जो samples हैं they are not getting destroyed, but on the other hand it is very expensive. Then element traces analysis concentration sensitivity limits is about 1% of the atomic function. That means that analysis is very concentration sensitive. And then identify the chemical state on surfaces and is good with quantitative analysis and differentiates between oxidation states of the molecules. ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट से कैसे रिलेट किया है ये मैंने आपको इसके पहले वाले मॉड्यूल में बताया हुआ है. डिटेक्टिंग द डिफरेंस इन केमिकल स्टेट बिटवीन द सैंपल्स. सो these are some of the advantages which are given. There are more many advantages जिसकी वजह से जो है एक्सप्रेस टेक्नोलॉजी जो है it's very getting very popular, but there are some disadvantages because it's very expensive. It's a high vacuum हमें requirement होती है, slow process होता है, hydrogen and helium cannot be detected and relatively complicated sample preparation होती है और इस वजह से there are some of the disadvantages, but definitely this technique is doing wonders in study of surface analysis and surface chemistry. So now coming to a basic idea of Auger electron spectroscopy. So these are the topics that we'll be dealing with: the introduction, history, principle, then steps, instrumentation, graphical representation, and all these. So Auger electron spectroscopy is a non-destructive core level electron spectroscopy for semi-quantitative determination of the elemental composition of surfaces, thin films and interfaces. So it's semi-quantitative determination है elemental composition of surfaces निकालने के लिए और thin films और interfaces का study करने के लिए. The popularity of this ultra high vacuum technique may be attributed to high surface sensitivity. एक एनालिसिस इसकी ऐसे हम एनालिसिस कर सकते हैं 100 एंगस्ट्रॉम अराउंड सरफेस का and a relatively low detection limits. In addition to having an elemental coverage from lithium to various lithium to uranium and beyond, AES has the ability to distinguish between two elements that are close to each other in periodic table. So that means lithium से लेकर जितने भी elements present हैं up to uranium, इनका स्टडी हम ऑगर इलेक्ट्रॉन स्पेक्ट्रोस्कोपी से कर सकते हैं और it can also distinguish between elements that are very close in the periodic table. So that's a very important technique. Auger effect is an electronic process at the heart as AES result from inter and intrastate transitions of electrons in an excited system. तो Auger electron spectroscopy क्या है? Again, it's a spectroscopy which is used for the understanding or investigating the composition of surfaces of solids. Now it's also used for study of surfaces, oxidation analysis, chemistry of fractured interfaces, and more generally in the area of material science. So the phenomenon of Auger electron spectroscopy was first discovered in 1923 by Lise Meitner and later independently discovered once again in 1925 by Pierre Auger. So these are the scientists who first of all found out what Auger spectroscopy is. So let's see the principle of Auger electron spectroscopy. What does the principle of this spectroscopy contains? That a fine focused beam of electron bombards the sample and it ejects the electron of the inner shell of the atoms. That means in XPS what we were doing, we were bombarding the photons, but now in Auger spectroscopy what we are doing is where we are bombarding the electrons and an electron will be ejected from the inner shells or what we call as the core electrons. So that vacancy which is created by the ejection of electrons, that is refilled by the electron from higher levels. So this is called as Auger effect. When one vacancy is created because of ejection of electrons, the other electron comes from the higher shells and it replaces that vacancy. सो अगेन व्हाट हैपेंस, जो वैकेंसी क्रिएट होती है उसमें अगेन एक हायर एनर्जी का इलेक्ट्रॉन फिलअप हो जाता है, और इसको हम 3 स्टेप ऑगर इफेक्ट कहते हैं. द रिलीज ऑफ एनर्जी इज ट्रांसफर्ड टू एन इलेक्ट्रॉन इन द outer orbit electron. So the energy that is given out, that is calculated in this Auger electron spectroscopy, and that gives you the information about the elements which are present. So the electron has sufficient energy to overcome the binding energy and the work function to be ejected with a characteristic kinetic energy. So in these spectroscopies that we are talking about, that is X-ray electron electroscopy या Auger electron spectroscopy, दोनों में ही surface analysis के लिए kinetic energies का determination किया जाता है. But the difference is that in X-ray photon spectroscopy we are using photons, while in Auger electron spectroscopy we are using the electrons. So let's see the basic principle of this spectroscopy, which is Auger electron spectroscopy. So it is, most commonly employed surface analysis techniques, as in X-ray photon spectroscopy that was used for surface analysis. Similarly, Auger spectroscopy is also used for surface analysis. Now, what it uses is it uses the energy of emitted electrons to identify the elements present in a sample, similar to the X-ray photon spectroscopy. तो दोनों ही techniques जो हैं, they are using what, the kinetic energy of which are ejected electrons, and that gives the information about the binding energies which are present. But the thing is that we are in Auger, we are using the electron beams, which gives more specific results about the surfaces. So the main differences is that that I already told you, that XPS uses an X-ray beam to eject the electrons, while AES uses an electron beam to eject the electron. And in AES, the sample depth is dependent on the escape energy of the electrons. How the electrons are escaping, that we are finding out in the Auger electron spectroscopy, and it is not the function of excitation source as in XPS. That means XPS में हमें फोटोन की एनर्जी भी पता होनी चाहिए, उसके बाद ही हम काइनेटिक एनर्जीज का डिटर्मिनेशन कर सकते थे, बट यहाँ ऑगर में दिस इज नॉट डिपेंडेंट ऑन द एक्साइटेशन सोर्स. So in AES, the collection depth is limited to 1 to 5 nanometers due to the small escape depth of electrons. So here we can find out a very precise number of layers of any surfaces, or precise number of layers की वजह से ये जो Auger spectroscopy है, it is more specific in results than the electron spectroscopy XPS that we have studied. Like XPS, AES measures kinetic energy EK of an electron to determine the binding energies. Binding energies निकालने के लिए kinetic energies का study करती है. The binding energy is inversely proportional to the kinetic energy and can be found from if we know the photoelectron, the photons, energy of the photons, and if we know the work function, then we can find out the EB, that is binding energy, with the help of EK, that is kinetic energy, and the work function. Since EB is dependent on the element and the electronic environment of the nucleus, AES can be used to distinguish elements and their oxidation states. So what is an Auger process? An Auger electron comes from a cascade of events. Cascade of events मतलब the element जो events हैं वो successively होते रहते हैं. So an Auger electron, first an electron beam comes with sufficient energy to eject a core electron, creating a vacancy. पहले जब photons डाले जाते हैं surface पर, तो photon जो है एक electron को निकालता है. फिर उस electron की जगह पर upper shell से electron जो है डिस्प्लेस करता है, और अगेन उस एनर्जी की हेल्प से थर्ड इलेक्ट्रॉन जो है वो इजेक्ट होता है. तो हम देख लेते हैं किस तरह ये होता है. टिपिकल एनर्जीज ऑफ प्राइमरी इलेक्ट्रॉन्स रेंज फ्रॉम 3 to 30 किलो इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट्स, एंड अ सेकेंडरी इलेक्ट्रॉन ऑफ हायर एनर्जी ड्रॉप्स डाउन टू फिल द वैकेंसी एंड एमिट्स सफिशिएंट एनर्जी टू इजेक्ट अ टर्शियरी इलेक्ट्रॉन, जिसको हम ऑगर इलेक्ट्रॉन कहते हैं, फ्रॉम द हायर शेल. तो देखिए ये इंसिडेंट इलेक्ट्रॉन है. अब यहाँ पे इलेक्ट्रॉन आ रहा है, एक इलेक्ट्रॉन इजेक्ट हुआ, जहां से इलेक्ट्रॉन इजेक्ट हुआ वहां पर दूसरा इलेक्ट्रॉन एंटर करेगा, और इस तरह उस दूसरी होल में से जब तीसरा इलेक्ट्रॉन आएगा तो दैट विल बी कॉल्ड एज द ऑगर इलेक्ट्रॉन. इसको हम स्पेसिफिकली देख सकते हैं जिस तरह ये फोटोन नहीं, यहाँ पर इलेक्ट्रॉन आना चाहिए, इलेक्ट्रॉन तो इलेक्ट्रॉन इम्पिंज होंगे. तो किस तरह इस स्पेस को फिलअप करने के लिए ये वाला इलेक्ट्रॉन यहाँ आएगा, फिर ये जो स्पेस खाली हो जाएगा उसको फिलअप करने के लिए ये ऑगर इलेक्ट्रॉन यहाँ से निकलेगा, इलेक्ट्रॉन निकलेगा, उसे ऑगर इलेक्ट्रॉन हम कहते हैं. So again, this is the same procedure explained once again over here, how electrons help to produce a Auger electron. So these are steps of Auger process. तो Auger electron spectroscopy is a two-step phenomena. Step 1 में क्या होगा? Involve the formation of electronically excited ion. तो जब हम एक्सरेज यूज करेंगे तो किस तरह जो एनर्जी है वो एक्साइटेड एटम यूज फॉर्म करता है और इलेक्ट्रॉन्स जो है वो रिलीज होते हैं. जब हम इलेक्ट्रॉन बीम यूज करते हैं तो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स हम यूज कर रहे हैं तो एक तरह एक्साइटेड एटम प्रोड्यूस होगा, उसके बाद इलेक्ट्रॉन्स और सो व्हाट आर दीज इलेक्ट्रॉन्स वी कैन सी. This is incident electron from the source. This one is incident electron from the source. Then this one is, it indicates the ejected electron from one of the inner shells. This one, and this one is shows the same electron after it has interacted with A and lost some of its energy. तो रिलैक्सेशन प्रोसेस क्या होता है ना. रिलैक्सेशन प्रोसेस अगेन कैन बी ऑफ टू टाइप्स. यदि जो एक्साइटेड एलिमेंट है उसमें से अब इलेक्ट्रॉन निकलता है तो दैट विल बी नोन एज ऑगर इलेक्ट्रॉन, और यदि एक्साइटेड एलिमेंट से हमें रेडिएशंस मिलती हैं तो वो एक्सरे फ्लोरेसेंस कहलाता है. तो रिलैक्सेशन यदि इस तरह से होता है तो हम ऑगर इलेक्ट्रॉन स्पेक्ट्रोस्कोपी में से यूज करते हैं. So what are the essential components of AES? Again, we should have the ultra high vacuum environment because again it is a surface spectroscopy. तो हमें clean surfaces चाहिए, इसलिए हम ultra high vacuums का use इसमें करते हैं. फिर electrons guns, then electron energy analyzer, electron detector, data recording, processing and output unit. So because you have because you need to have a basic idea of Auger electron spectroscopy, so you should have the idea of what are the different parts of the spectrometer which we are using in the Auger spectroscopy. So this is the instrumentation. This can be a ray diagram. The important elements of an Auger spectrometer include a vacuum system, an electron source, and a detector. AES must be performed at pressures less than 10 to the power of -3 pascals to keep residual gases from absorbing to the sample surface. Now, why do we have to have such pressures? Is that जो gases हैं वो absorb ना हो surface में. This can be achieved by using an ultra high vacuum system with a pressures 10 to the power of -8 to -9 pascals. So that is why we require a very high vacuum and the pressures, low pressures. So typical electron sources include the tungsten filament with an electron beam diameter of 3 to 5 micrometers, lanthanum boron compounds electron sources with a beam diameter of less than 40 nanometers. And so these are the sources which are electron sources that you are given. Two common detectors जो हम use करते हैं वो है cylindrical mirror analyzer and the concentric hemispherical analyzer discussed below. So we'll see how they work. Notably, concentric hemispherical analyzers typically have better energy resolution. So this is the graphical representation. So the graphical representation which tells you that that the intensity of peak depends on the amount of material present, while the peak position is element dependent. So peak position किस position पे peak आती है ये हमारे depend करता है कि कौन सा element है. That's why we can find out with the help of peaks which element is present. Auger transitions are characteristic of each elements and can be found in the literature. So because an atomically clean surface needs to be maintained throughout the Auger analysis process, and because electron beam needs to reach, that's why we need to have this type of graph to find out the surfaces of the elements. So what are the advantages? Of this spectroscopy? First of all, it is surface sensitive. Then element and chemical composition analysis by comparison with standard sample of the known composition. We know the different peaks. We have the databases. We can compare those databases with the peaks which are given to you, and we can find out the different types of elements or present on the surface of that particular element which is to be detected. Now, detection of elements heavier than lithium. Why heavier than lithium? Because lithium is having only 3 electrons. So before that यदि हम हाइड्रोजन हीलियम को लें तो उसमें ऑगर इलेक्ट्रॉन प्रोसेस होना पॉसिबल नहीं है, और इसलिए हम जो है लिथियम के बाद वाले एलिमेंट्स का स्टडी इस ऑगर स्पेक्ट्रोस्कोपी से हम कर सकते हैं. वेरी गुड सेंसिटिव फॉर लाइट एलिमेंट्स. So what are the disadvantages or limitations? It analyzes conducting and semiconducting samples. Special procedures are required for non-conducting samples. Only solid specimens can be analyzed. Samples that decompose under electron beam radiation cannot be studied. So these are the some disadvantages of this process. Hydrogen and helium are not detectable as they have electron less than 3. So applications are many. It throws light on the various oxidation states of the elements. All elements except hydrogen and helium can produce Auger spectra, in which the area under the peak is measured to give a quantitative picture. That means area under the peak gives the number of electrons. AES is largely used for qualitative analysis of solid surface. Solid surfaces की study होती है, or it is used for depth profiling of surfaces. And Auger Auger microscope is used to produce a beam that can be moved into the surface. So these are some of the applications of Auger spectroscopy. So the references are as given. So let's assess ourselves. So all the elements produce Auger except we have seen hydrogen and helium are not able to produce the Auger electron, and that's why the answer will be hydrogen and helium. A. Then ESCA is electron spectroscopy, while SIMS is A, that is ion spectroscopy. So ESCA is what? ESCA is our chemical analysis by electron spectroscopy, while SIMS is an ion spectroscopy. That means we have an option A as the correct answer. So thank you for watching my module, and do watch all the 6 lectures to know about the group theory and spectroscopy part 1. Thank you all.